You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I slap the bass big time.
What is that? You sound like a leprechaun.
No,
What is
that's a
that?
reggae guy. I just did reggae.
Doesn't sound.
Doesn't sound reggae?
No.
Slap the bass.
No.
Slap the bass. That sounded like Borat.
Yeah,
Slap the bass. Big time.
that's better.
But air bass works best up here.
Right.
This is exactly what I look like when I jam out, man. When I jam with my bass. Slap at the bass, man.
There you
Slapping
go.
the bass, man.
There you go.
Slap at that bass, man. I slap at that bass.
Please don't do that.
Slap at the bass.
Please.
Slap at the bass.
For the sake of our relationship.
Slap at that
Please
bass.
stop. Please stop. Thank you.
I'm slapping the bass.
Okay. So, welcome, episode 5. Can't believe it's already been 5 shows. 5.
Right, yeah. Seems like
The fun ever start? Yeah, it's going to be 6 next, right? Before you know it, it'll be like 10.
Yeah.
But welcome to episode 5. Today, it's going to be all about the bass. All about that bass.
Slapping the
Can't believe
bass.
I can't believe I did that. Yeah. Got a little bit of something different for you. But before we get into it, we want to ask you to like and subscribe and share us around. Check out our Facebook page. Obviously, you found us on YouTube. Check out our other videos that we have out there. And we appreciate you watching. And also post in the comments below. We love hearing from everybody. We are going to be covering the top 5 bass riffs and their bass players. We're going to cover that. We also have Fun Horizon. Today is a little different than the last Fun Horizon. We're going to be covering movies and shows that are coming out. And if there is time, we may do a perfect album. All right. So that's the show. Again, like and subscribe. But let's get into it.
So, first, I'd like to introduce Robert, who will forever be known as the very first guest on Dude, Check This Out. So when we're on the big screen, the question comes up, I wonder who that first guest was. You're going to find out here in a minute. So he's a singer-songwriter, plays multiple instruments, including bass, keyboard, guitar, just to name a few. He's released a few albums with 2 bands and 1 solo. He's engineered and produced for other bands in his home studio. And of course, we were in a band together called Serial Junkie. You can hear one of our songs at the end of our show every day. So I'd like to welcome Robert to the show.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
AJ.
Thanks
Hey,
for coming
Dave. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Check this out.
Check this out. Yeah, thanks. And Dave, we might have to finish that album one of these days.
Oh yeah, that's that one we started back in what, 2003, 2004?
There was
got
no
5.
gray hair.
Yeah.
Actually, I had hair too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you play bass, you sing, you play guitar, you do stuff with your feet, play drums, on occasion.
Yeah.
What don't you do when it comes to the studio?
Well, though, oh gosh, I have done guitar leads, but it's not my thing. I'm more of a songwriter. So, guitar is an instrument for writing songs. I'm not a guitar player. So, which is different from you guys, so it's just another tool, just like keyboard. I'm not a piano player, but I, just use it for creating songs. So, yeah.
Give a little bit of depth, or at least the start of an idea that somebody else can come in and do when you find a keyboardist.
I haven't done that, but yeah, I'm sure I could. I mean, I just haven't worked with a keyboard player. But that'd be cool. But yeah. And Dave, I think this white bass over here was what was used on a lot of those songs that we played back in the
Right?
day.
Wasn't it?
So-
I don't remember it being painted white though.
No, it's been through a few transformations. It was originally it was an off-white original, and then for a while it was like a deep electric blue, and then it was just natural wood for a while. And then I had that painted several years ago and just changed it up.
That's,
Just got it back. Fender Precision,
Yeah.
1976. Yeah, just got it back from Elderly. They did a setup for me, and I'm looking forward to trying to do some more music with it.
Do you
But,
farm? You do those mods yourself, or do you farm them out to other people?
I the paint job I had done. It wasn't super pro, but it was like better than I could do. The guy had a paint booth in a shed, so.
Oh,
But it was better than I could have done. But yeah, that's cool. And I think AJ, like we did Gloria at your studio
Right.
and it was that bass. I specifically wanted it. I don't remember what Adam plays, but it was like the closest sound to that.
Yeah, I was amazed by that. Speaking of other projects that haven't been finished, like 20 years ago, we started this it was going to be like a benefit CD, all U2 covers from all the bands that we knew in Detroit, and the album was going to be called U2 Could Do More. And I still have all of the stuff, and I've actually brought it back to life, and I've been doing some edits. We might release it soon.
That's cool. That's
Get
cool.
sued for it, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We keep talking about these songs, and I'm getting earworms, guys. I'm getting earworms.
Ah, yeah.
Earworms.
Earworms.
You guys ever had an earworm?
I have one right now. It's
Circle
playing
and
right now.
And for those who are watching the show, if you don't know what an earworm is, it's kind of like a term for a song that's stuck in your head and won't go away. There's actually been some research on what an earworm is, and once again, in true form, I haven't done a lot of research, but I did Google it a few hours ago. But there are a lot of different ways people can get rid of these earworms, and it doesn't really work. It's like hiccups, getting rid of hiccups. You're like, try this, eat peanut butter, scare yourself, like all these weird things to get rid of these conditions like hiccups and earworms. Rob, what do you use to get rid of your earworms?
Oh gosh. I guess the thing is, for me, I almost always have something going on, and a song is playing in my head. You have to be distracted by something else. So it might be, watching TV or video or whatever, just, some activity that really requires your attention. Otherwise it's, for me, it's always there.
What about you, Dave?
For me, if I have a song or something like that stuck in my head, I have to either sing it in my head and finish it till the end, or it's going to be stuck there. So I'll have to either look up the lyrics or just, try to sing it uninterrupted till the end of the song. And that's usually how I can get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two things. One that usually works most of the time, like you, is just listen to the song. It's stuck in my head because I haven't heard the finish. My brain doesn't want to end the song. So I will go listen to the song. And then the other one is, I think we've talked about this before, like just listen to something else, actual music off of a loudspeaker, just to distract your brain from listening to this thing over and over again. But the worst earworms are the songs that I haven't finished. I mean, how do you listen to the end of the song and you haven't finished writing it? You got a riff and you just been playing it, and that riff is in your head all night long. Those are very, very detrimental. I don't get much sleep when those happen. So, all right, let's go do some Google searches. Not again. Go away. What was the last earworm you guys had, if you can remember?
Well, right now it's King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar. because I was listening to that while I was thinking of something that we're going to talk about later, the bass lines. But yeah, so I had that song stuck in my head.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I've always got one of these songs that's on my top 5 list. I don't want to spoil it. It's quite often running through my head. I don't know if it's just because I love the song so much, or it's just like such a catchy tune and it sticks. But I don't want to spoil it right now. But yeah, I've got one. Especially doing the research for this week's show. You know, you think of all these bass lines, and yeah, this one's real. It's kind of stuck in it right now, which is not a bad thing.
No, till it's 3 a.m. and you're like, make it stop. Yeah. Terrible. It's the crappy songs for me. It's never a good song. It's a crappy song. Well, I don't know. Depends on your taste, but usually a crappy song I heard.
You know, what's disturbing is when you like walk through a store or someplace and they have some song and you wouldn't normally hear it, but you know the song, and then that one gets stuck in your head. So it's one of these like, oh God, why do I have that one stuck in my? Oh, I just heard it at Home Depot or something.
That
happens. That happens.
In commercials. Like
yeah,
I don't know which commercial is with the girls like nothing is everything. It says something about like
Skyrizi.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Skyrizi.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored by pharmaceuticals. Work on that, but like, and I'm walking around the house singing that chorus. Nothing is everything, and my family's like, "What is your problem? Why are you singing commercials?"
Because that's the earworm. Yeah, actually, I do that to my wife all the time. I'll like sing, I'll hum something, and it gets a song in her head. It's just she's like, "Was that you? Did you sneak one in there?" I didn't know.
It's hilarious that you like knew the drug too. You're like, "Oh yeah, Skyrizi."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had that earworm.
Most commercials I don't know, but yeah, that one I've heard.
Yeah.
And they keep changing the genre. Like it's now it's a country song or something.
Yeah.
Here's an earworm that I'm gonna get stuck in both of your head right now.
Uh-oh.
The lion sleeps tonight.
Ooh.
Is that like to cleanse our palate for the songs we're about to talk about? Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tasty. Thank you.
All tomorrow.
All right. So do we want to get into the top 5?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Sure.
Today's episode of top whatever is going to be a little longer than normal because we've actually asked Robert to bring some of his top 5 bass licks since he's a bass player. In fact, this whole thing is the reason why we're doing top 5 bass is that Robert's a bass player. So, Robert, you're a guest. So why don't you go ahead with your number 5 on your list?
Okay. Number 5 for me is, and I'll say just to preface this that, I think we all know it's not easy to pick top. I'm not a person, I really don't necessarily have favorites necessarily, but these were ones that I thought really stand out. And I thought, and they're not all my favorite songs necessarily, but I thought they were really good examples across different kinds of music. So my number 5 is Rio by Duran Duran. I think it was released in 1982, that album, and you went into a period where a lot of music was drum machine and synth and Duran Duran. I mean, yes, it's a pop group, and I tend to like more rock music, but I thought that bass line is so busy, but yet the perfect part for that song. It wouldn't be the same without that. And the driving rhythm section is what I think made it great. And of course they had a great video and they were all about that, but you had real musicians playing real parts. And I think that was really cool that even though it's pop music, there was something cool about it. I don't know what you guys think of that one, but I just always thought that was a great part.
I didn't know this for a while, but they actually play their instruments. I think the Reflex song on MTV was the first time you saw them on stage with instruments. I'm like, oh my gosh, they actually play the instrument. Wow.
Yeah. Wasn't a boy band,
It wasn't. That's what I thought it was, but yeah.
Was it Taylor, the bass player?
Yeah, it's John Taylor and his brother. Yeah, and his
Very
brother played
underrated.
drums.
I think they're.
Yeah.
I think all in all, as musicians, they're fairly underrated because a lot of people just lump them into the whole pop scene.
But I know John had a lot of influences, you know, Motown and I think I can't remember all the different bands that he liked, but yeah, I think it's kind of cool to have a real bass line in a pop song like that.
Hey, all right. So Rio, Duran Duran. Let's give that a. All right, Dave. Dave, do you want to get into number 5 with your number 5?
Okay, yeah, number 5 for me is actually a cover song. "I Will Survive," covered by Cake. The bass player is Victor Demine. He was just a bass player at the time when they recorded this. It's very different than the hit that you had heard on the disco from, was it Gloria Gaynor? Very upbeat, really cool groove, the way they rearranged that bass line for that song. But yeah, let's give that one a listen.
Cool. All right. My number 5 is, you think about this artist, David Lee Roth, bit of a ego guy, right? He's in a band called Van Halen, and then gets kicked out or decides to leave, whatever the story was at the time. He's got to start an awesome band, right? It's got to be like the best guitarist, the best bass player, and some drummer from Michigan. That's all I know about the drummer. But he did. He picked up Stevie Vai on guitar, and Billy Sheehan. And the song is Shy Boy. And it was the first time I'd ever heard a bass player play at the speed of a solo guitarist. It was incredible. And so the solo in this is just pretty amazing. Let's give it a listen. All right. So, Robert, your number 4.
Yes. All right. Well, I have to say, I'm a little bit. You guys are the same age, is that right?
14. Yeah,
so-
I'm 14.
Yeah, 14. I'm a little older. Yeah, when grunge came out, I was at the age where I could have been like, who cares about that stuff? But this song, when it came out, my number 4, Jeremy, in 1991, I really had to take note. And I didn't even really know what the heck was going on in this song. This is Pearl Jam off of 10, with Jeff Ament playing bass. Actually, it's a 12-string bass. And that's what was kind of interesting. I didn't know that for a long time, that it was 12-string. Jeff wrote the song. And that's that intro. It's just probably one of the best bass intros of all time. And of course, a very powerful song, powerful video. And so, yeah, when that came out, I was like, okay, I was actually happy because I didn't like hair bands. I was like, okay, this is at least some rock music, some real rock music coming back. So yeah, I thought that was a great song.
Great band. Great live
Yeah.
band.
Oh my
Always have.
gosh.
Let's give a listen to Jeremy. All right, Dave, you're number 4.
So number 4, and at some point during these shows, I want to do a whole segment on these guys because this band, not getting too far into it, I don't know how they're not a household name. They're that good. So the song is "All I'm Asking." It's the Band of Heathens. So the bass player at the time when this was recorded was Scott Davis. Very heavily influenced by Paul McCartney. Matter of fact, he records this using a Hofner bass. It's got that same sound. I mean, it's just unmistakable
Mhm.
sound, and it's just a really cool earworm. This is the one that I was talking about. This one, once I hear the song, it's in my head, but I don't know if you'd call it an earworm if you enjoy it. So I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, this is a really cool song. Let's give this one a listen.
I feel like I've been here before. I chose the wrong path. I opened the wrong door.
All right. My number 4. If you haven't been or watched a sporting event in the last 10 years, maybe, then you've been living under a rock when it comes to this next song, because it is everywhere. Almost like a taunting song, right? But it is Seven Nation Army's bass line, the beginning bass line, that's done by Jack White. And he does this with a guitar, right? Like a
Yeah, I
baritone
believe-
guitar.
No, I believe it's a standard guitar that he runs through a octave pedal or some sort.
Okay.
There's a clip from the It Might Get Loud, which had Jack White and The Edge and Jimmy Page. They did a
Jimmy Page, yeah.
documentary film, and
That's
he
awesome.
shows them
That's
how
great.
he shows them how he does that. Yeah, cool.
Well, let's give it a listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back.
Now I have that one in my head.
Super catchy. All right. We're at number 3 now, right? Robert, can you give us your number 3?
Yes. Okay. So this song, released in 1969 off of their debut album, is definitely one of my favorite of the old school bass parts. And it is, Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? It's also one of the longest titles, by Chicago. And you know, some people, I guess we're getting older, where people probably don't even know Peter Cetera, but a lot of people know him as this, you know, soft ballad singing guy. But actually, the whole band, they played some really great music. Their early stuff is just very rocking and jazzy and whatever. So this one has that jazz feel at the beginning. Introduction with all these different time signatures, changing time signatures, and a really interesting feel. And then it gets into more of the meat of the song. But I just like that, just how he moves, the bass line moves. Peter, I think, mostly played a Fender Precision, and that was really, you know, one of the main basses a lot of guys used at that time, and gals used at that time. So it's a good example of a rock song from the late 60s using Fender Precision.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
As I was walking down the street one day.
out. Dude.
Check
it out.
Dude.
Dude,
You know, so many other songs you could. I mean, that's another bass player
Oh.
that's probably highly underrated. I mean,
Underrated. Like I said,
25,
people
6
think,
to 25, 6 to 4. I mean, that's just like a dominant bass line. I mean,
yeah.
so I mean, I'm the other ones are just like pouring into my head right now, like Fleetwood Mac,
Oh, the chain.
Dreams, and the Chain. There you go. That
Yeah.
one.
Do
Just
do
so
do
many-
do 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 do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I just added another one to my one that didn't make the list. I'm not going to say what it is right now, but we can cover it later. Kicking myself for not picking this one. It just came into my head.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I know. There's some that are popping in my head just as I'm listening, listening to you guys talk. So
We
this
may have
one's
to redo this one. I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
no, that's yeah. We'll have to visit this maybe on our Facebook page. We'll add to this list. I mean, I'd like to hear what some other people's favorite bass lines are too. But,
Yeah.
So number 3, my number 3 is this is a little bit different. I mean, Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. It's got that heavy distortion, and from what I understand, they're in the recording studio working on one of their albums, and MCA Adam Yauch comes in and he's just sitting down on the couch or whatnot, and he grabs a bass and he starts banging on this bass, and that right then and there turned into Sabotage. Just
Wow.
it's a very simple song. Adam Yauch playing bass. The other guy, Ed Rock, I think, played guitar. And, who's the other one? He did the singing.
MCA?
No, MCA was Adam, played the bass.
Oh, okay.
Ad Rock, guitar. And
I can't remember the other guys.
why am I drawing a blank for the? There's only 3 guys in the band. Well, anyway, yeah, and that's something until I did the research, I guess I never realized that they played their own instruments. I just assumed they brought a guitar player
Yeah.
or-
I didn't know that either, Dave.
Yeah, interesting. Now I'm not sure if they did that all the time, but on this specific song, the 3 of them played their own instruments.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's
let's give
cool.
this
Yeah.
one a listen.
So, Dave, for my number 3, I'm going to see your distortion or gain on that bass guitar and raise it to 11.
Mm.
My number 3 is the track is called Amnesia, and there's a parenthetical next to it, or parentheses, pulling teeth, right? It is basically, it starts with Cliff Burton saying bass solo take 1, which is like amazing to say. Yeah, I did that in one take. But it is a bass solo. It's followed up at the end of it by the rest of the band, but it's a pretty long piece, and it's super distorted. And I didn't even know you could do this with a guitar until I heard this. I'm like, wait, or bass guitar. I'm like, wait, you could put distortion on a bass signal. Oh, that's so awesome! And I did it. You had to do it. You had to try it, right? So let's give it a listen.
Bass solo, take 1.
Wow, we're up to number 2. Number 2. Robert, what is your number 2?
Number 2. Well, I mean, for I think any of these bass players, you could name multiple songs. I decided to pick the longest one by this player. So 1972, Yes releases Close to the Edge. Side 1 has the song called Close to the Edge. Chris Squire, I mean, you could pick Roundabout and all kinds of other songs by him, but this one I think I picked because he gets to show his breadth of playing in the song. There's some quiet parts and heavy parts, technical parts. It definitely, the Rickenbacker tone is in full force. Yeah, I don't say, it's just Chris, like a lot of players in that time that were trying to push, a lot of them were 3-piece, like Cream and then later Rush or something, but he was really pushing to the melody on bass, rhythm and melody. So yeah, I think that's great bottom end, but also provides a lot of melody and interest.
All right, Dave, number 2.
Number 2. This one was like a breath of fresh air when I first heard it, and I had no idea who it was. But it's the song is "Waiting Room" by Fugazi. Bass player is Joe Lally, and it's just such an awesome bass line. I wish I could describe them better. You know, as a guitar player, it's just like, you know, it's that guy over there. But whatever he's doing, I can't even mimic it with my voice. So let's just play a clip. And I mean, everyone knows this. I think everyone knows this song, but let's take a listen.
My number 2, it's another bass riff with some, I think, a little bit of fuzz in it. It is the song "You Can't Quit Me Baby." Lots of words here today. It's the song "You Can't Quit Me Baby" by Queens of the Stone Age, and the bassist is Michael Schumann. Dave, I think you lent me this CD back when it first came out. You lent me a couple Queens of the Stone Age CDs. And this song, I don't know. There's just a groove that just carries through the whole song that I love. So let's give it a listen.
Yeah, and I remember Dave pushing Queen. I think you might have loaned one to me at one point too, Dave.
That's possible.
You were really like, "Hey, you got to hear this band."
Was that off of the Rated R album, the blue one? Or?
No, that was the album. I think it was also called "You Can't Quit Me." All I remember was it was like the cover had somebody wearing underwear. That was it.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but you gave me "Songs for the Deaf." I think was the other one that you lent me.
Yeah, that's the one.
And just their use of omitting things like bass was almost like they were hard to explain. Like they were like the dance music today, just like there's all these breaks, or they add things, take things away. Like they did that a lot when they were recording, and just really good guitar tones. Man, I love their guitar tones. They're awesome.
The first time I heard Queens of the Stone Age was going to see our friend's band Ella Fitzgerald play at I think New Way Bar and Grill, and they had a band that played with them, and I can never remember the name of the band, but it was Lee McPherson.
Skin Mill. Yeah.
And they did "Feel Good" hit of the summer, and I was like, first I thought it was like one of their own songs because I'd never heard it before. I was like, that's pretty cool. And of course, he was such a phenomenal bass player from the local scene.
He was going to be on my top 5. No one would know who it is. Well, very few people, but he's definitely Lee McPherson passed away a number of years ago from a glioblastoma. But they used to practice at my house 2 days a week, and my neighbors hated it, but I loved it because they were amazing. So but he was a great bass player too. All right, we're at number 1.
Ooh,
number 1. We made it. If you stuck it out, here we go.
You know what? Real quick, before we get into our number 1s, and there's some honorable mentions that I think we could each name off a couple, but I could do a full list of Paul McCartney songs. I've got like "Something," and "I Saw Her Standing There." I can do another whole list of just Rush. I mean, my favorite is "Red Barchetta," and then The Who and Pink Floyd, "Money." What about some of your quick honorable mentions?
Rob, you got any honorable mentions?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff you mentioned, definitely. I had on my list at one point, I had "Peg" by Steely Dan. I really like several songs by them, and there's a great that's off of Aja. There's a great little documentary where they talk through that, and the bass player, I think it's Chuck Rainey, talks about how he put slap in the chorus, and the guys did not want any slap bass on anything, but he like turned his back and it did it. They're like, they really like the sound. So he's like, so that was one. Don't Give Up, Peter Gabriel. Any like Tony Levin did incredible work with Peter Gabriel. So you could have picked a few. The other one last one is I was telling Dave about this earlier. If you've seen Breaking Bad, have you seen Breaking Bad, AJ?
Yeah.
Okay. So episode 1, season 1, the scene where they got to take off, they're out in the desert and they got to take off in the motorhome. There's this song that starts playing, and I'm like, I had to look it up. This was like the second time watching. I'm like, what is this song? And it's this Mexican group that's like rock and rap, and it's this. You have to play it sometime because the intro is this bass part. You think it's like, it sounds like maybe a baritone guitar or something, but it's not low. It's a high sound, but it's bass. They have 2 bass players, really crazy, and then they rap in Spanish over it. So I really love that because there's 2 basses in it. Like you don't get that often. Anyway.
You have any honorable mentions, AJ?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. 2 of them from the Commodores. One was Brick House. I mean, that's an iconic bass line. That drives the whole song, right? Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Jameson? No, that was he was Proton.
Oh, I can't remember. I looked him up. I didn't get the name because I didn't put it on my original top 5. And then the other song with the Commodores is Easy.
Mhm.
There's some pretty wicked licks in there. Wow. I can't believe I just said wicked licks. But yeah, there's some pretty good. Shootsy's Groove. The song is called The Ocean. They were a rock hip hop band from New York. My brother went and saw them one time at a club in the 90s, and so we got the tape, and it's just an awesome album that they had put out. And then the last one was the song Yard Girl by Skin Mill.
Cool.
Another one that just popped in my head. I don't know how I could not put this on my top 5 was Good Vibes. Let's get our number ones.
Yep. Okay, so my number 1 is we talked about Geddy Lee being on your alternate list there. I wanted to include something by him because he's definitely been my favorite bass player. He's probably one of the big reasons why I picked up a bass. Honestly, I wanted to learn how to play what he was doing, and I think, Moving Pictures was the big one, but following Moving Pictures was the album that not everybody loves, but Signals came out in 82. The song is Analog Kid, and the thing is, from the get-go, I mean, it's both Alex on guitar and Geddy on bass playing this riff, but it's the verses. It's like he's still doing this active bass part while singing, and it's not easy. And the sound, I think, I did some research. I think he's actually playing a Rickenbacker, which on that tour he played like a Steinberger, like completely different bass. But when you listen to the growl of that bass, you can hear, it's and he often traded between that Rick and his old, I think it was a 72 Fender Jazz, but on that one I think it's a Rickenbacker. But just a powerful song.
Very cool.
Yeah, you can just go up and down anything that Geddy Lee has done. Just phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of my favorite of all time.
That's it. Well, let's give Analog Kid a listen here.
August afternoon has the trees in
Thanks, Rob. I mean,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you for doing that. Dave, what is
Yeah.
So this one, you're talking about wordy titles, and I think this one might win that race for sure. The song is called "Having an Average Weekend," and the band is Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet. I say that, and everyone's like, "What?" But if I said it's the Kids in the Hall theme, everyone's like, "Of course." Oh yeah. So that's what is commonly referred to as the Kids in the Hall theme.
Yeah.
But that is Reed Diamond on bass. It's just such a catchy tune. I mean, how can you not smile when you listen to that song? It's like you go into the squish your head. So yeah, that's my number one.
Nice.
Let's have a listen.
all right for the final number one? What can I say about this number one? Like, this for me was my introduction to the band, and my mom got the tape, the Joshua Tree album on cassette tape, and she had it for like 3 minutes because I took it from her. But the song is I think it was the song that put them on the map in popularity everywhere. The song is "With or Without You." There's a lot of great guitar work in there, but that bass line, it's really hard to just get it right. And Rob, you probably tried to track something similar to the sound, but it is, I think, one of the best bass lines or bass licks that they've got. And Adam Clayton is an amazing bass player,
Mhm.
but this was just like, what? And it's so simple, but it just drives the whole song. So let's give it a listen.
See the stone set in your eyes. See the thorn twist in your side.
We
Yeah.
did it.
That's cool.
Made it.
That's cool. You're right. And actually, Adam, that's because he's not the spotlight. I mean, after Bono and the Edge, then you think of, was it Larry? I think
Larry
on,
Martin, yeah.
Mullins on drums. I mean, and then Adam's in the background, yeah. But yeah, you have to have just a great bass player to be able to stand behind those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think of that, Rob? I mean, that's the first time you've kind of been on
That
the
was
show.
awesome. That was awesome. Yeah,
Lot of
thank
fun.
you. I love being able to do this. That's cool.
Sometimes you can't always tell if a band has a great bass player, but you can tell definitely if they have a bad bass player. So
Yeah.
What do you, Rob, when you're playing with bands, what is the most important to you, that you're tight with the guitarist or you're tight with the drummer?
Drummer. But the majority of bands I've played in are with the same drummer. So my one of my best buddies of all time. So yeah, we've known each other since we were wee ones. And yeah, once you have that, it's playing with a different drummer is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely the rhythm section has to lock in. So yeah, drummer.
Cool. Very cool. The next segment in our show is the Fun Zone. And this week, Dave's going to take us through some of the upcoming movies and shows that are coming to theaters and TV streaming media services near you. Take it away, Dave.
Yeah, so this reminds me of "Let's Get Ready to Rumble." The microphone. So a little technical difficulties with my microphone. I don't know what's going on. You spend all this money on one and sounds like crap. Anyways, so HBO Max, we have a show called Our Flag Means Death. It's by Taika Waititi, who is known for his did Thor Ragnarok. He did the What We Do in the Shadows series, and it's loosely based on a aristocrat who goes through a midlife crisis, and he wants to get on a pirate ship. So he teams up with Blackbeard, who's played by Taika. So some of the other people in the show are Kristen Nairn, who was Hodor, Game of Thrones, Leslie Jones from SNL. So that's one.
Wow.
It's kind of looking forward to that. I like the pirate theme stuff. Here's a big one that I think a lot of people can wait for. It's called House of the Dragon. This is also on HBO Max. This is the prequel to Game of Thrones, and it goes through the whole history of the Targaryens, and this takes place about 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones that we know.
That sounds cool.
The next one is on Disney Plus, and this is just one of a few of the different Star Wars themed or Star Wars shows coming out. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ewan McGregor is gonna pick up where he left off as Obi-Wan, in his later years on Tatooine. Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin, is going to be Darth Vader again. And let's see, what else? I'm really looking forward to that. Let's see, that 90s show on Netflix. So this is a continuation of that 70s show, and it's going to have the same characters, Red and Kitty Foreman, but this time they're taking in their granddaughter for the summer of 1995. And kind of interesting to see if we will see some of the other 70s show cast, maybe Austin Kutcher, I don't know. Don't know a whole lot about that one. Ahsoka, this is another in the Star Wars series. So if you've watched The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and Star Wars Rebels, Clone Wars, you would know who Ahsoka is. This one is going to be by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Just really looking forward to this. This is like between this and Obi-Wan is what I'm really, really waiting to see. Rosario Dawson will continue as Ahsoka. And let's see, moving into some movies. This one is coming out here, I think later this month. It's called Studio 666. This one, it looks hilarious. So this one's about the Foo Fighters. They move into an Encino mansion to record their next album. Turns out the mansion is haunted and slowly possesses, I think, Dave Grohl. Aside from the band, other people that are starring in it is Will Forte and Whitney Cummings. And then I'm going to read through some of these pretty quick. Stop me if you want to comment on any of them. There's a lot of Marvel stuff coming out. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Thor, Love and Thunder. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Avatar 2. So I'm probably one of the few people on this planet who's never seen Avatar. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really looking forward to that, but I'm sure there's a ton of people who are. Did either of you see Avatar?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how it ended and why there would be a sequel to it, but
yeah,
I'll have to go rewatch it.
Yeah, I don't know. More some other Marvel and some DC movies. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. From what I understand, this one's really going to tie in a lot of the different storylines that you just wonder how they tie in together. This one's supposed to explain that. The Batman. This is the one where Robert Pattinson plays Batman. I'm not sure if he's going to have glitter on him, all over him or not.
I would like some of that colorful dust that sparkles.
Glitter?
Yes, get me some glitter.
Whatever for, Master.
I'm going to sprinkle it on my face and on my body, like twilight.
I don't know if I'll be team Robert on this or not. Um, The Flash was finally getting his first full feature.
Was he?
Um,
Was the Flash always portrayed as a goofy character? Because in the DC movies that are out now, he just seems to be like this, almost like Spider-Man, like this goofy, awkward teenager.
I'm not really sure. Whenever I think of the Flash, I always think of Sheldon Cooper dressed in his Flash outfit, from
He is. He's the nerdiest of the superheroes.
so
Yeah.
that's I mean, I wish I knew a little bit more about that. I'll watch it. I'm really getting into the Marvel stuff. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So this one I don't know a whole lot about. I'm assuming that the big muscular hunk
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa will probably reprise his role as Aquaman. I'm sure. This is Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2. This is gonna, among some of the other actors, Christopher Lloyd is gonna be Judge Doom again. So I guess I'll give it a shot.
Did they not answer Who Framed Roger Rabbit in the original movie?
I don't
I would
know.
want my money back if I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Who
remember.
did it?
That one, it's what is it, 25 years in the making? I don't know how long it's been
No.
since Who Framed Roger Rabbit was out.
Yeah.
Now this next one, when I first just saw the title of the movie, I was like, okay, I don't know, Cleopatra. But then I saw it was starring Gal Gadot. I was like, yep, this is a definite watch. And here's another one that's a long time in the making, Hocus Pocus 2. And it's going to star Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy again as the three sisters. So that one should be good. I mean, put those three together on screen as witches, and it's going to be fun. This one,
A lot of action going on there.
yeah, this one, although it says it's coming out in 2022, but I guess it remains to be seen. It seems like this has been going on, playing forever. Top Gun Maverick.
Come on, release it already.
Right.
We got teased. We thought it was going to come
Yeah.
out, and they delayed it back in 2020. That was
Yep.
the worst thing to me that happened in 2020 is them delaying Top Gun.
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to this. This one, I don't know if either of you two seen the first one. It's called Enola Holmes. And that's a Netflix movie starring Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things and Henry Cavill from Witcher, Superman, etc. So what this is about is it's like an alternate take or a side take on the Sherlock Holmes story. So Enola is Sherlock's younger sister, and she gets her first case as a detective by herself, and she enlists some help from her friends and her brother Sherlock. So the first one was a real fun movie, and I'm can't wait for that one to come out. This one is for all the early gaming geeks. It was not a great game, but I remember it having great graphics at the time. It's called Dragon's Lair. It's animation with Dirk the Daring, a knight who set out to rescue Princess Daphne. And the only reason I put this on my list was because although I did like the game a little bit, it has Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Dirk. So, anything that he puts he touches is just, hilarious, and comedy surely to ensue.
Yeah.
Fourth wall break alert.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that.
Smart aleck comments.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one, I forgot that I put this on my list because the first one, when it came out, I want to say either in the late 70s or early 80s, Salem's Lot, Stephen King. This one, they're redoing it, and I know with the newer technology, and from what I understand, this one is going to stay truer to the actual story written by Stephen King. The first time I saw that, I mean, I was young, and it just wrecked me. It was like that one scary movie that ruined it for me ever going into a haunted house, or for that matter, looking out a window at night because of this, thinking that a vampire is going to be hovering outside my window. This was that's the one movie that, oof. Yeah.
So The song by the Toadies, Possum Kingdom. He does that effect because it's a song about vampires. He does that effect in the "Do You Want to Die?" Right, that reverse, pre-reverse, whatever you want to call it, effect where you hear what the person's going to say up until the point they actually say it. You hear it in reverse up until a certain point. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and that kid floating outside the window was doing that. He was talking that way in this reverse and then forward kind of. So, sorry. Every time you talk about that or hear about that scene, it reminds me of that song by the Toadies.
A couple more. Oh, actually, I think this might be the last on one on my list. This one is The Wild Bunch. This is a remake of the 1969 film. Gang of American bandits try to elude bounty hunters during the waning days of the Wild West. What makes this one interesting is the people who star in it: Peter Dinklage, Tyrion, Game of Thrones, Michael Fassbender, and Jamie Foxx. So yeah, that one will be interesting. Probably a little comedy, I would imagine, with Jamie Foxx in there maybe. But that is the Fun Zone.
You didn't mention that there's a movie coming out. Liam Neeson. I don't know. He's doing this like revenge kind of movie. It sounds really unusual for him to do a revenge movie where
Really?
he's got something happens to his family.
Does he have a specific set of skills?
Oh gosh, yeah. So there is actually. I'm not joking there. Oh
yeah, I'm sure I know there's a lot more coming out, but I tried to pick most of them that interested me. If you know of any movies that are coming out, just put them down in the comments below, or let us know which one of these that you're really looking forward to seeing.
But this next segment is the perfect album from end to end. It's a thing you can listen to over and over and over and over and over. Robert, you brought your perfect album today, so go ahead.
Yeah, and I had to think about it a long time because I am an album listener. I always have been. There's very few. I have some mix kind of playlists, but that's generally not what I do. I don't listen to the radio. So when I listen to any musician, any band, I listen to their album. So those are my favorite folks. So I could pick a lot of what I think are perfect albums. The one that I picked though is actually, this is the t-shirt of Bent Knee. It's not a band that you would have heard of, except that I mentioned them to you guys before, but they're a 6-piece band. They got together while attending Berklee School of Music in Boston. So they're all very, trained people, but some of the most creative people that I've been around. Where it started for me, 2017 is I was listening to Spotify, a playlist of some kind or some artist, and it started suggesting songs. It played a couple songs I hadn't heard, played a Zappa tune, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I just kept listening. And I was listening with my pods in, and this song came on, and I was immediately just brought into it because there was this kind of frenetic intro. There's and then they slow down. They do this very deliberate verse, and the time signature changes, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? And then they get into this bridge where the guitar is just playing these chords. I'm like, what am I hearing? And the vocal on the song is a female who just has this power. And I got done listening to it. I'm like, what is this? I've never heard of this before. And the song was called Land Animal by Bent Knee. It turns out that song is also the title of the album. And I didn't listen to the whole album right away, but I listened to that song several times, and I said, okay, I need to listen. And just right from the beginning, every song has something. So to me, a perfect album is one where you won't oh, I hate that song. I've heard that one too many times. I got to skip that song, right? No, every song is, and for me, any song on this album or every song has probably been an earworm for me. But they have 6 members in the band, drums, bass, guitar. They have the lead singer who also plays keyboards, and they have violin, which is very different. And then they have a guy who does everything he does extra guitar. He'll do stuff on the computer, keyboard sound effects. He also will do live vocal effects. So he'll do filters and stuff while the singer's singing. Very technical setup. They all, I think they had last time they had like 3 keyboards, people playing different keyboards, and it's like you guys have played live, like the setup is nuts. But anyway, this album, it just became like part of my life since 2017. But especially as associated with that time period when I heard that first song. And I would go on these camping trips and just listen to that album over and over again. So I think that's another thing with the Perfect album is when you play it, it takes you right back to where you first started listening to it. And so that's what it is for me, is Bent Knees Land Animal.
Just wrote it
I'll have
down.
to check that out. Yeah, I definitely want to check that one out.
I would.
Done a little.
Oh, go ahead.
I say I've done a little bit of research, and I played some songs for Ann, and yeah, that's very cool stuff. I definitely want to get some more of that.
I would recommend checking out. Yeah, definitely. Like the studio stuff is great, and I mean they do some great production. Actually, the guy who does the effects and stuff, he's their producer too. But check out their live videos when they play these songs. Land Animal. I mean, they have other albums that all their albums are very different. They do everything from like really experimental stuff, because they went to school for this, right? They're musically trained, so they do all kinds of stuff. And Land Animal, I guess, came out. They ended up getting kind of labeled that people thought they were kind of proggy for some reason, but I don't see that. But they were on, I think Inside Out was pushing them at the time. They toured with Dillinger Escape Plan, then later with Haken and Leprous. So they kind of they were trying to do stuff a little heavier, but they're not heavy. But yeah, check out the live stuff because they're really fun to watch too.
Yeah, encourage the viewers to check out some of the stuff on your streaming service and put some comments below in the comment section.
Cool.
Well, Rob, once again, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Number one, you're number one, man.
Yeah.
First
Thanks.
one.
I've really enjoyed it. And when Dave first posted that you guys were doing it, so I'm going to check it out. What the heck? And you guys always, it's just dudes talking about stuff you like, but I think that's enjoyable,
Yeah.
That's really cool. So
Well,
thanks.
now we're getting to the awkward part of the show where Dave and I just kind of say, well, that's it. We're done. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, add comments.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us today, Robert. We'll have to get together and do some jamming, some slapping of that bass.
Slap of the bass.
Because you play it up here,
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
See you later, everybody.
Okay, and this is where we.
This is. Here we go. Stop touching that.
I saw 4 in the mezzanine.
Yeah, I had 3 in the front row. 7 females at a Rush concert. Must be some kind of a world's record. Whoa.
Hey, who are you guys?
We have the lemon. Sorry, we had the laminates. We thought it was okay to just come in here, but we can totally get out of your hair if you need us to.
We're fine. It's fine. Hi, guys. Hello. How do you do? My name is Sidney Fife, and this is my man, Peter Clavin.
Hello.
And we're just the biggest Rush fans in the history of the planet Earth.
The biggest.
Right.
Again.
You know, the first song that we ever jammed out to was Tom Sawyer, and we couldn't do the drums. No one can do the drums like you. What we did is like da 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 da. That was banging up.
What did you call that song?
Oh, I know it's called Tom Sawyer, but I love it in the song when you go, modern day warrior, mean try. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
I don't think I say it like that.
No, I'm pretty sure you say Tom Sawyer. Hey, is that my sandwich?
Sidney, I told you not to eat Mr. Parrot's sandwich.
It's just Peart.
You sure that it's not Parrot?
I think he would know.
Are you sure? Because we're pretty big fans.
Chill, man. Chill, man. Look, guys, it's been a long night.
Oh, tote. Mug out. I just got to say, though, before I go, that was such a sweet ass set. I was like, oh, freaking out. The whole moving pics, right? And then with when you were playing the drums, is that hard?
Yes, it's hard.
Guys, you gotta go now, all right? Now.
So the least you could do is sign my friend's 9-string.
You got a double neck? Do you know how to play that thing?
Well, not nearly as good as you, but I have been known to slap at the bass big time.
Why is he talking like a leprechaun?
Everybody says that. No, it's like my Rasta guy. It's like the bass man.
Hey, can I check your laminate there, dude?
Whoa, it's legit, Leaflet. It's all access.
Hey, Dirk, check this out. Is this a fake or what?
3-season access? Come on.
You told me your buddy Ethan worked at the record label.
My buddy Ethan works at Kinko's.
I'm gonna get someone to come down here and kick your ass unless you get out of here now.
I think we understand when we're not wanted.
Finally.
Thank you for the sandwich.
No, leave it. Go, guys.
I've already taken a bite.
So sorry, Rush.
There's no Dirk and Rush.
That's a nickname, like Jobin. Go.
Well, who carries around a walkie-talkie?
Sorry, Rush.
Hey, Peter. You forgot something. Happy birthday, man. You keep slapping that bass.
He said slap it up. Oh my God. They signed it. They all signed it. Oh my God. I think we made a real impression on those guys.
Of course they signed it. What did I tell you? Peter, the Holy Triumvirate, they're regular guys just like us.
I realize, Dave, you're gonna have like hours and hours of just like there's 45 songs we're covering here. No, it's just like 15 songs. So
I already got them all downloaded. I already got the video edit started. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Jesus. I'm so glad I partnered with you with this on that. I'm really, you make it so easy, Dave.
Are you gonna talk about what's on the show today? And
We-
then-
Oh shit, I'm an idiot. Yeah, we got to edit that out, don't we? Jesus. What are we going to talk about today? All right.